What's going on, guys? Jake Randy here on the World of Wrestling Show. Welcome to the first episode of the World of Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jake Randy, and today we're going to talk Monday Night Raw. For those of you who just finished watching Monday Night Raw, we saw a pretty decent Raw, I would say. Not the greatest, but not the worst, especially from what we've seen this year and in the past. So, I got a couple of notes down, and we're going to go through Monday Night Raw together. And I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought about tonight. What would you give Raw out of 5 stars? What do you think as a go-home show? Was it worth it? Did it really get you wanting to watch Elimination Chamber this Sunday? So to kick off the show, guys, we saw Roman Reigns, who came out and he had a little promo to cut. You know, Roman Reigns on the mic is not the greatest thing, I would say. He just doesn't come off as genuine to me. Maybe I'm just being too picky, I don't know. But to me, Roman Reigns, he comes off as, I don't know how to explain this, but like, for example, you know, when you saw Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and Triple H, when they cut a promo, you really took those guys serious. You know, you felt a sense of genuine in their words. But, you know, when Roman Reigns comes out and he says a couple of things, he doesn't come off genuine, I feel like. It's almost like, you know how Cena's is the 5 moves of doom. Well, Roman Reigns is almost like the 5 words of doom or something, you know what I mean? Because he comes out, he says his couple of catchphrases, you know, the big dog, and I'm going to do that and this, and he just doesn't come off genuine to me. But maybe I'm just being too picky. Let me know what you guys think about that. So Roman Reigns came out, and I had no idea that this gauntlet match was going to kick off the show tonight. I didn't even expect the gauntlet match. I mean, I heard, like, I think yesterday about the match being scheduled for Monday Night Raw, which is pretty crazy considering that Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. And in the way they did it tonight, I think it was like 2 hours into the show when the match finally came to an end. So as Michael Cole said on TV, I think that was probably the longest match in Monday Night Raw history, or just the WWE in general. That match went 2 hours. Like I said, Roman Reigns came out. He kicked off the show. Of course, that was after the tribute to the victims of the Parkland, Florida incident. They paid their tribute. And then we saw, you know, Roman Reigns come out. He cut his promo saying, you know, he wants Brock Lesnar. And then we had Seth Rollins come out, and we saw Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, which was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't the greatest match, you know. It was decent. You saw them do their couple of signature moves. But Seth Rollins tonight, guys, I gotta say, he killed it, man. He put his body on the line in this match. Even though Elimination Chamber is this Sunday, he still went out there and put on a hell of a show for this Monday Night Raw. And he lasted, what was it, an hour? Or just a little over an hour, I believe. And they had such a good match. Roman... Well, I mean, I wouldn't say such a good match. They had a decent match. But, yeah, Rollins out there, he had a great showing tonight. First match, okay, you know, it's shocking to see Roman Reigns get pinned by a roll-up. I did not see that coming. That was something just out of nowhere, out of the blues. And you know, it got me thinking, actually, because I know with this whole Roman Reigns scandal thing going on about him, the guy, I forget his name. This guy who comes out saying that Roman Reigns is on steroids, or he's a customer of his. Sorry, I can't get my words right. He's like a customer of his who bought steroids from him and whatnot. So that got me thinking. Like, I mean, we saw Roman Reigns get rolled up tonight. We saw Roman Reigns lose the Intercontinental title to The Miz clean, or somewhat. I think it was probably a distraction from The Miz Traj, but you know. In WWE, where we don't see Roman Reigns lose a lot, it was pretty odd to see, you know, recently Roman Reigns taking a lot of losses. So this gets me thinking. I don't know what you guys think, but what do you think? Is this Roman Reigns losing as a punishment to that situation going on? Does the WWE know something that we just don't know? Or is it just, you know, WWE trying to lower, I don't know how to say this right, but you know, is it WWE trying to make Roman Reigns not so in the spotlight right now because they know that come WrestleMania, if this match between him and Brock Lesnar is actually going to happen, is that going to, you know, are they kind of like hiding him for now so that come Elimination Chamber, Roman Reigns defeats all 6 other men in the Elimination Chamber, goes on to face Brock Lesnar, beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and then Roman Reigns has his moment and it's crazy because this match has been predicted for almost over a year. Like, we were watching WrestleMania 33, and there was already rumors going around that Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is going to happen at WrestleMania 34. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is Roman Reigns being punished, or is it just Roman Reigns, being, or whatever you guys think, because it was pretty unexpected to see Roman Reigns get eliminated from this gauntlet match tonight in the first round against Seth Rollins by a roll-up. So then we go on to Seth Rollins. Of course, he pinned Roman, like I said. Next comes out John Cena. He comes to face Rollins in a pretty decent match. Actually, not more than decent. It was better than the first match. Sorry. But yeah, Seth Rollins again, guys. I don't want to brag too much about Seth Rollins, but tonight he really put his body on the line. He had a great match with Cena, and these two put on a decent match. Seth Rollins was selling a lot in the beginning. Started off a bit slow, but that's what this I can understand. Seth was selling great because he just been through hell. He had a match with Roman Reigns, and then he was just going on and on with Cena, and and even more of a shocker to put on top of that, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins pins Cena. I don't remember exactly how he did. Let me see my notes. I got my notes right here of what happened tonight. It's kind of hard to remember everything, when it's a 3-hour show. Seth Rollins. I remember this. Cena pulled out a unique stunner move. I don't know if you guys saw that or if you remember that, but there was some kind of stunner. He kind of had it I think it was an attitude adjustment type of carry, fireman's carry or something, and then he just turned it into a stunner. I'm not sure if that was a botch or if that was intentional. It looked okay. Cena kind of pulls out moves every once in a while. I think he reads he knows what the fans are saying about him being the 5 moves of doom, John Cena. So he tries to pull things out, every once in a while that's a little different and unique. So that was one thing that stood out to me tonight. Rollins takes an AA. He kicks out of that. Cena, he puts him in the STF, I think it's still called. I'm not sure if that's still the name of it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. He gets him in that a couple of times. Rollins gets the rope twice. Rollins pulls out the win against Cena, and he gives him a curb stomp for the win, which I'm not sure if that's the name anymore. I feel like they've changed the name. I can't ever tell what they're saying because, I don't know. They said it tonight, but they kind of just go over it. They speed past it. They don't even mention the name of the finishing move. I'm not sure if it's gonna still be called the curb stomp or not because of how it was, I guess, sort of banned for a while. I'm trying to find out my notes. I messed up my notes. Okay, well, anyways, so Seth beats Cena, and he beats him clean. So Seth's going on and on with this match. So you're just wow. So then out comes Elias. He comes running to the ring, and he starts taking on Seth for a pretty decent while. I mean, it didn't last too long. They didn't want to stay on Seth too long. They still got to make everybody look strong going into the Elimination Chamber. Seth can't just run through everybody. But they did. I think they did a good job telling a story of Seth Rollins trying to be Seth is Raw and trying to be the top man because recently he's been in tag team. He's been in the tag team mid card area with Dean Ambrose and Jason Jordan. So I think they told a pretty good story with him taking out 2 of the biggest stars on Monday Night Raw, Cena and Roman Reigns tonight. But they have Elias come in, who's a guy who's pretty on fire. I mean, this guy's getting great reactions from the crowd. Walk with Elias. WWE stands for Walk with Elias. The crowd's really liking that, I think. And I think there's big things coming for him. Just hoping that WWE makes the right choice with him. They don't go the direction what they did with Bad News Barrett, where he was getting on fire. Damian Sandow, they were all getting on fire with the crowd. And then next thing you know, they screw it up, man. And hopefully WWE doesn't do that with Elias, because he's doing great right now. And I could see big things coming. I could imagine that after the Elimination Chamber, maybe we see Elias go for the Intercontinental title that The Miz has. Maybe Finn Balor's thrown in there too for a triple threat. I don't know, something at WrestleMania. They usually do a ladder match, I think. So they could do something like that. I don't know. But and then Elias takes out Seth. Elias, that makes sense. Seth's been in there for a while. He's they don't want, like I said, they don't want to make Rollins look too great tonight. They got to make the others look great. So Elias comes out, takes out Seth. Um, Next comes out is Finn Balor. Comes out to the ring. He has like a little stare down with Seth Rollins on the way to the ring. They have their history, so that was pretty cool to see. They're still telling their story. I forgot to mention though, in the middle of every match after the first match between Roman Reigns and Seth, they had backstage interviews, and they were pretty good. I mean, like tonight they were telling good story with this whole 7-man elimination chamber. I think Cena was the first to be interviewed, I believe, and Cena with his mic skills, he did great. Comes out saying, I gotta win at elimination chamber. I didn't win tonight, but it's a lesson to be learned. Something along those lines. And then he says that once he goes to elimination chamber, it's important that he wins, because if he doesn't, then he might not have a road to WrestleMania. So what I get out of this is, I feel like Cena is gonna go down the route of he loses at elimination chamber, and then he's gonna come out and maybe say a couple of things about how I might not have. Oh, sorry, I'm playing the intro right now, guys. Let me see if I can get rid of that, because still kind of new to it. Anyways, all right, there he goes. Still kind of new to the live stream, so you gotta bear with me, guys. But anyways, Cena cut a pretty decent backstage promo, because he like I said, well, anyways, he had a good decent backstage promo talking about his road to WrestleMania, and he might not have one if he doesn't win at Elimination Chamber. So what I imagine is that after Elimination Chamber, of course, I don't think Cena's gonna win the Elimination Chamber. Definitely can't see that. I imagine he loses, he comes out the next night or sometime whenever he does come, because he's on a part-time schedule, I would say. But I would think his schedule is gonna get more like full-time type schedule heading towards WrestleMania, or at least I would like to think, because what I imagine is Cena's gonna come out not every week, but he's gonna come out 1 week before WrestleMania. He's gonna talk about how he doesn't have a road to WrestleMania this year. So it's gonna be all like, it's gonna be bullshit. It's Cena coming out saying, I might not have a road to WrestleMania, and then I think that we possibly see the Undertaker. I know this is kind of like a controversial topic, because a lot of people are saying Undertaker should just retire. I think I agree with that. Undertaker's in shape in his life where he's looking like he might need to retire. He's slower in the ring, and man, the man's already got a huge history. At WrestleMania 33, we saw him leave his hat and his everything in the ring. So it makes you question, like, was he retiring? And then came Raw 25. He came out, had a weird promo that people didn't really understand. Almost sounded like he was calling out somebody, but at the same time, it sounded like he was going to retire. So who knows what he was like intending. I don't know if he had an intention, if they even, it was just like, Undertaker, go out there and, cut a promo, do your so-and-so, whatever, rest in peace, do your thing, do your little stick. But yeah, so I imagine that might be where they're going, or somebody, is going to go against Cena, as Cena's talking about how he doesn't have a road to WrestleMania at the moment. So like I was saying, guys, back to the gauntlet match. Elias defeats Seth Rollins, and out came Finn Balor to go against Elias. This match was pretty decent, but there's been a big how do you say this? There's been a big talk about Finn Balor. Is he over or not? Is he over with the fans? And I think Finn Balor is a great superstar, but how do I say this? He comes out, he gets the fan on their side. Part of that is the fans just loving his entrance, But in the ring, Finn Balor, I know he can be a great wrestler. I've seen him in NXT and stuff, but he kind of has a move set that you would say is kind of not that interesting, or it's not that his moves, I don't know, he just doesn't have a lot of moves he puts out in the match. He kind of does his few moves, almost like Cena, with the 5 moves of doom. He comes out there, does a sling blade, does a couple of moves, his signature moves, and then that's it. A lot of Finn Balor matches, they look the same, because I don't feel like he's coming out with any like creative moves that often. But a pretty decent match tonight. He takes out Elias with the coup de grace. Um, then we have outcome The Miz to Raj, actually, because they come out and they kind of look Finn Balor in the face, and then out comes from behind. You see The Miz, and he attacks Finn Balor to get the upper hand on him. Like, again, a decent match, not as great as like Seth versus Cena, but they had a decent match tonight. The Miz finishes Finn Balor with the skull crushing finale. That the match was all right. It was just as I feel like as the gauntlet match went on, it just kind of like lost momentum. But the crowd tonight was great. I forget were they in California or somewhere tonight. I forget where they were, but it was a pretty decent crowd. They kept you interested in the match at least a little bit. When there's a Raw and the match isn't great and the crowd is just completely dead, you just want to turn off the TV. You don't even want to watch because that's how bad Monday Night Raw can be, especially whenever the fans aren't into it. But we see The Miz take out Finn Balor. It gives him a skull-crushing finale with a distraction from The Miz to Raj. So we saw that. And then, The Miz is there after the victory, just sitting there, and they're hyping up Strowman coming out. They're showing the replay to, waste some time as, they're building up the whole, well, who's next? There can only be one guy. It's Braun Strowman. So next thing you know, Braun Strowman comes out, and he basically chases The Miz, which was pretty funny, the way they show Strowman on Raw, with him flipping trucks and vehicles and running and using his speed and throwing people across the stage, throwing Michael Cole off the stage. They're really building him up as a monster among men, right? And they're doing a pretty good job at that. But so Strowman comes out last. Obviously, Strowman's not going to lose to The Miz. He defeats The Miz, and he celebrates. He does his signature "I'm not finished with you" type of thing. He cuts a promo, goes back to defeat The Miz Taraj and give them all power slams. The Miz is running away. He grabs The Miz and throws him back out there, sends him to the ring, gives him a power slam. Strowman raises his hands in the air, the winner of the gauntlet match. Strowman, 2 hours into the show, remember. So this is about 9 o'clock Central Time when that's finishing. So there's only 1 hour left of Raw. Pretty okay gauntlet match, I would say. I think they kicked it off great with Roman Reigns and all that. Like I said, there was those promos in between that were pretty okay, especially Cena's. You can kind of tell, I think, where they're hinting at with Cena talking about not having a road to WrestleMania. And then you had Seth come out, and he cut a promo talking about that he lasted a long time. He's glad that he took out two of the biggest stars in WWE, but that none of that really matters if he doesn't win on Sunday. Awesome, gets me hyped for Elimination Chamber in a way. So that was good. And then you have Finn Balor go backstage. He cuts a little promo. They all did pretty well. Strowman wins the gauntlet match. I don't know. Are you guys hyped for Elimination Chamber? Was this go home? Well, I can't talk. This go home show. Is this making y'all want to watch Elimination Chamber, or was it just another decent Raw, or even worse? Did you guys give this 1 out of 5 stars? What'd y'all give this Monday Night Raw? So we saw, like I said, Strowman win. A little bit they announced earlier today. They've been doing it on ESPN, or I forget where they're announcing these. Some website, they're giving them early announcements. So Jeff Jarrett, class of 2018 Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame's looking pretty decent. You got Ivory, Goldberg, the Dudley Boys, and Jeff Jarrett. So it's looking pretty decent. I don't know what you guys think about that. It should be a fun night. They go out there. They usually tell a story, and it's pretty awesome to see the Hall of Famers come out like that and give you a little insight of their past and whatnot. I think it's gonna be a fun night, and I think it's a pretty decent Hall of Fame class. So moving on to Raw, we also see Asuka come out. I might have missed this, but I know during the match, or during when she was making her entrance, I left to go do a couple of things. I came back, and she's getting interviewed by Renee Young. I'm not sure if she had a match or anything. I believe she just went out there and made her entrance and just cut a promo in the middle of the ring, which is kind of odd. If she's cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, don't you expect something to happen? So next thing you know, out comes Naya Jax, and she kind of tries to sneak up on Asuka. Asuka sees her, and she just starts attacking her. And Nia Jax grabs her off the top rope for the Samoan drop, gives her like 3 leg drops to show dominant. And guys, I'm not sure what they're doing with Nia Jax. I don't know if I exactly like it because, um, you know, Nia Jax lost to Asuka. She lost to her in NXT, but not only that, but she's lost to her on the main roster before, and now all of a sudden they're trying to build her up. But we've seen Nia Jax lose to people like Sasha Banks, who's not getting much attention nowadays. So I'm not sure why they're trying to build Nia Jax. Maybe they're just like, they don't know what to do with her come WrestleMania season, so they're like, well, let's possibly add her to the WrestleMania match in some way. I don't see her beating Asuka at Elimination Chamber because that streak, I feel like, is probably going to last a while, especially with Ronda Rousey coming in, which we'll talk about in a second. They talked more about that. But, yeah, especially with Ronda Rousey coming in, I think they really want to have that Ronda Rousey-Asuka moment where undefeated versus the debut of Ronda Rousey, or just, Ronda Rousey as they build her up over time. But, yeah, Nia Jax, I'm not sure what they're doing with her because, yeah, she's just, I don't know what they push her and they kind of put her as this dominant female, but then they also like have her lose to people. So what they're maybe they're just building up Nia Jax a bit to make her seem like she's kind of some sort of potential person that could beat Asuka and end her undefeated streak. But I don't see that happening right before WrestleMania because that's really, I feel like, a buy for a lot of people that are going to be wanting to see Asuka. They want to have that with her at WrestleMania and probably onward as she's undefeated. They don't want to just have it end at Elimination Chamber because they've just barely started to build that up that she's undefeated. I don't see I don't see Nia Jax defeating Asuka, as Asuka should stay undefeated, I believe. A quick note though, guys. I'm not sure, but by the beginning of Raw and with this whole gauntlet match and the style of Raw, I felt like something was different. I'm not sure if you got the same feeling. I know there's been like rumors going around that Triple H is getting more power over 205 Live. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can correct me, but I think he's getting more power in the WWE just in general, as well as like Raw and SmackDown. So maybe it's just me, but there felt like a little in the beginning of Raw, at least, that like, there was a little Triple H like peeking in or something, but maybe I'm just thinking about it. And they just made a good choice tonight in a couple of these matches and segments. So anyways, we saw Nia Jax, take out Asuka. And then, we had one of these matches between Apollo Crews, which is no longer Apollo Crews. He's actually just Apollo, and Titus O'Neil versus The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro. Not something I was very excited to see. I don't even know if I watched the whole match. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that great. It's not the first time that this has actually happened. I think Titus Worldwide, or whatever you want to call them, I think they've defeated Cesaro and Sheamus already in the past, which is kind of weird. I guess they're trying to give them like a title match thing where they're probably going to face them at Elimination Chamber or something. Not sure how I feel about that, guys. So a quick thing about Apollo Crews, guys. I used to watch a little bit of him when he was Uhaa Nation in the independent scene, and I really like the guy, man. He's very athletic and whatnot, but I know he's not very charismatic, and that might be what's holding him back, but man, the guy is very athletic and he's very skilled in the ring. I just don't know what they're really doing with him. I feel like the whole Titus Worldwide thing is just not really working out. It's going to die, and, it's just not working out for him. Tonight we saw them actually get another win over Cesaro and Sheamus, The Bar, which is something we've seen. So, like I said, they're probably hyping them up for a title match at Elimination Chamber, which I feel like is just like a placement thing where they're just going to place them in there. Cesaro and Sheamus are going to defeat them at the Elimination Chamber. Blah, blah, blah. We all forget about it. Boom. That's it. One-time thing. Unless come WrestleMania, they do one of their typical WWE things where they're like, well, we don't know what to do with some of the people on the roster, so let's go ahead and just throw like 3 tag teams into the tag team title match, and we'll have a fatal 4-way tag team. And it's, I don't know, there's a lack of story when it comes to things like that. It's the same thing with the women. They kind of just throw all the women in a title match. What was it last year? We saw Alexa Bliss on SmackDown defend the SmackDown Women's title against Naomi, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, Carmella. I know who else was there. There's a couple other people, and it's just a typical WWE thing come WrestleMania season, where they don't know what to do. They just start throwing them in matches, and they start having these 6-man matches. Like I said, intercontinental ladder matches where there's like 6 men in it. It's just typical WWE. They lack the story though. Sometimes they don't tell good story, and it just ends up being a clusterfuck of just matches. So anyways, we saw The Bar lose to Titus Worldwide, and like I said, I would assume that they're going towards a tag team title match at Elimination Chamber, something we'll long forget after the match probably. I'm not sure what is even happening with the tag team division on Raw, because we saw the Revival. We saw them return recently, and then we saw them kind of job to the club and DX come Raw 25. We didn't know if they were buried or what, and then we see them come to defeat the club, Gallows and Anderson, just I think last week on Raw. And so we don't know what's going on there. It's back and forth, with Gallows and Anderson. They get a win over the Revival, and then the Revival gets a win over Gallows and Anderson. Are they in the tag team title picture? I have no idea. So interesting thing going on there. I don't know what to say about the Raw tag team division. It's a little lackluster, I'd say, right now. I'm pretty sure you guys would probably agree with me. Okay, so I don't know if it was after this match that they had the whole Ronda Rousey thing, but they brought in somewhere in Raw tonight a Ronda Rousey build up, I guess you would say, video package or something, and they were like talking about how Ronda Rousey's gonna be signing at Elimination Chamber, and she's gonna sign her contract at Elimination Chamber. They showed her actually training. I think this is the first time they ever showed this. They showed her in the ring training, running the ropes and whatnot. Shout out to Santino's Bros Wrestling Academy. I saw that in the package. I guess that's where she's been training recently. And I've heard in interviews with Triple H, I believe it was, where he was talking about Ronda Rousey. They interviewed him about Ronda Rousey, and they asked him, what's her contract gonna be about? I think they were asking him about, like, what's it gonna be like in the WWE? What's she gonna be like in the WWE? And he had nothing but good words to say about her. Of course, he praised her and talked about how she's worked hard, and ever since she been talking to the WWE, she's just been completely dedicated to it, and just consistently in the Performance Center, just over and over. He says that she's been in the Performance Center so much that sometimes they gotta tell her, hey, Ronda Rousey, it's time to go. We can't be here all night, whatever. I'm not sure if that was just Triple H really bragging on her and, trying to praise her and build her up. Because why wouldn't he? She's coming to WWE. It's a big thing. But my thing with Ronda Rousey is I hope that when she comes to the WWE and she has her first match, actually she already came to the WWE in the Royal Rumble. When she has her first match in the WWE, that I hope she can perform at the level of a great wrestler. And I don't expect her to be the greatest of wrestlers. Obviously, she doesn't have the years of experience, and that takes years of experience of female wrestlers like Sasha Banks, who have gone through the Indies. And you don't have to go through the Indies, to be a great wrestler. I think Alexa Bliss is pretty great. She's not the greatest in the ring, but she's great on the mic, and she kind of balances that with how great she is on the mic and how good of an actor and performer she is. But my point is if Ronda Rousey comes into the WWE and she is complete ass in the ring, then I'm afraid that, the fans are just going to turn on her, and not in a good way, not in like a heel way or anything. They're going to turn on her whether or not she's face or heel. And, I feel like it's important for them to bring in Ronda Rousey. Let me get my words right. So I think Ronda Rousey got a good reaction at Royal Rumble, but WWE should not get sidetracked by that and think, the fans are going to love her when she comes, because they popped for her because it was her first appearance in WWE. I kind of even popped, I'll admit, because it was like, wow, Ronda Rousey actually is here at the Royal Rumble, and she kind of just stole Asuka's moment, but, she did appear in WWE at the Royal Rumble, so that was pretty shocking. And I just, but I feel like that they gave her a pop because, it's her first time in WWE. But like I said, if she comes to WWE and has her first match and it's not great at all, you see her botching all over the place, she's slipping, having bad foot movement, I'm afraid that she's gonna get booed, because also when you saw her walk to the ring in the Royal Rumble, maybe it was just me noticing it. Maybe I'm being too picky, like I said. But she came out and she didn't have any charisma. She came out and walked her straight to the ring, very just serious. And I know she's probably that's probably like her gimmick. She's just going to come out like a badass, the baddest woman on the planet. She's going to try to beat up everyone, tap out people like an Asuka style, and then they can build up towards Asuka and Ronda Rousey. But like I said, if she's not that great in the ring, if she's not that great as a performer and an actor for WWE, then she's not going to fit the mold of a great WWE wrestler, and the fans are going to quickly turn on her, and she's going to get booed every time she comes out. And that's just my concern for that. But hopefully good things for Ronda Rousey come, and we see Ronda Rousey prove everybody wrong, right? That'll be something great. So then we get to the main event, which was a 6-women tag team match between Absolution and Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha. This match was pretty confusing when I found out about this, because wasn't it just like last week or the past couple of weeks that Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were having this best friend type of thing? And I know we see it in the end. We'll get to that in a second, but so that was that threw me off a little bit to see, like, well, so they're just gonna throw Alexa Bliss with Absolution, like she didn't just hit Sonya Deville the other night on Raw after their match. So it's like WWE doesn't know what to do. They're just kind of throwing things. This is actually the same match they had when Paige got injured, except instead of Paige, they have Alexa Bliss in her spot tonight. And so I believe this is a match they've been having on house shows lately. They just finally brought it to Monday Night Raw. Women 6-women tag. Not the greatest main event, They do their thing. They have a decent match. They have who well, I don't even remember the finish. This is the last thing on Monday Night Raw, and I don't even remember the finish. What was the finish? Oh, Alexa Bliss taps out Sasha Banks, right? Okay, so Sasha Banks puts Alexa Bliss in the bank statement, taps her out. They had like a little breakout. I didn't get to see it all because I was setting up for the live stream right after Monday Night Raw. But they have Sasha Banks tap out Alexa Bliss, and then they have Absolution start beating up, I think, Sasha Banks, and then they start beating up Bayley. And then I think Alexa's in the ring, and she did that thing that she did between Bayley and Sasha. I remember one time on Raw, it was Bayley and Sasha and Alexa Bliss, and they were like celebrating for a second, and then the next thing you know, they turn towards Alexa, and they're like, wait, why are we celebrating with you? They start, I think they like beat her up or something. Same thing tonight, except it was with Absolution. Absolution, like, they were celebrating for a bit for beating up, I guess, Sasha Banks, even though they didn't win the fucking match. And then they go ahead and look at Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss is like, just standing there, like she knows she's gonna get her ass kicked. Out comes Mickie James, I believe, and helps her out, and then they start beating up Absolution. They give Sonya Deville, I believe it was, a double DDT style maneuver, like a driver or something, pick her up and DDT her. Then you see Mickie James and Alexa Bliss kind of smiling together, like, giving each other the heads of, we're gonna be a tag team going into Elimination Chamber. What I feel like this story really is basically, they got Sasha and Bayley, their whole friendship thing. You got Absolution, they're a tag team, so they didn't want to just have Mickie James and Alexa Bliss kind of as a solo. I guess they wanted to turn this into kind of like a 2 versus 2 versus 2 style thing. Even though come Elimination Chamber, everyone's turning on each other, and you're going to see things like Sasha Banks probably pin Bayley, or Bayley pin Sasha Banks, and then you're going to have, of course, Absolution have like a little thing go wrong probably for them. You'll probably see Alexa Bliss turn on Mickie, and who knows, that could even be the finish. Maybe Alexa Bliss and Mickie are the last two, and Bliss just somehow takes Mickie out, because I expect Alexa Bliss to retain. She's held the title. She's been a great performer throughout the year with the championship, great on the mic. But yeah, she hasn't defended the title. I know that was an issue recently on Raw, where they had that pretty good segment where she was talking to Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was telling her that she hasn't defended her title since, what was it? It was before Survivor Series, because she didn't even defend her title at Survivor Series. That was a match with Charlotte when it was SmackDown versus Raw. So sometime before that, she defended her title. I think it was against Mickie James at some pay-per-view. But yeah, so it's been a while since she's defended the title. but I expect her to retain, I would think. Who knows who she's going to face at WrestleMania? It could be Naya Jax. It could be just a clusterfuck of women wrestlers just thrown into the match like they do every year. Hopefully it isn't. I would hope not. But who knows what's gonna? I mean, I just see Alexa Bliss retaining, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with that. I think the betting odds, the early betting odds, which are usually right, they were right about Orton winning the Royal Rumble last year, and then they were right about Shinsuke. They've been right a lot of times, so there's always some like inside information getting leaked. So they're right now currently showing Roman Reigns the favorite to win the Elimination Chamber, the male Elimination Chamber, and then they're favoriting Alexa Bliss to retain her title at the Elimination Chamber, which I agree. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that might happen. I don't see Sasha winning with the up and downs they're doing with her. She loses matches, and then all of a sudden she looks like she's getting this push, and then next thing you know, she's losing. Bayley lost to just like Lana on the Mixed Match Challenge, right? So, Bayley's a very odd situation right now too. Absolution, they're too young to win the title. I feel like they're not ready to put the title on them yet. Who knows? WWE's done some crazy things. They could always put the title on one of them, but I doubt it. Mickie James, I don't think she's there to win her 7th title. I think it is. I just, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I see Alexa Bliss retaining, and some screw up way where she turns on Mickie James. Yeah, but that was Monday Night Raw tonight, and it started off pretty decent with the gauntlet match, and it got okay, but I want to know what you guys think of Monday Night Raw, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, it's okay Raw. It wasn't one of those Raws where I just wanted to fall asleep, and I was just trying to stay awake to watch the whole Raw. Okay Raw enough. The time kind of went quick. I think the gauntlet match killed a lot of time, and it really went by fast. You were just like, whoa, 2 hours already passed. That's it's great. But so Elimination Chamber coming up. This was the go home show, Monday Night Raw. Elimination Chamber, guys. I'm gonna put my predictions this Saturday on a show we're gonna call Saturday Showstopper. So tune in for that. I'm gonna have my co-host Nate be on the show with me, and we're gonna go ahead and do our predictions. And that day of the week, guys, since this is a new show, let me run you guys through the schedule. Monday, of course, Monday Night Raw review. You can find me here on Mondays right after Raw. I'm going to review Raw. Tuesday, tomorrow, I'm going to be reviewing SmackDown right after SmackDown. And then on Saturdays, I'll be talking with my co-host Nate, and we'll be talking about news, rumors, and if there's a pay-per-view the next day, such as Elimination Chamber coming up, we do predictions as well. You guys can tune in through the chat, through the live stream, and let us know your thoughts, give us your predictions and whatnot. And we'll be glad to communicate with you guys and also talk about what you think's gonna happen and all the news and rumors going on in the WWE. And then Sunday we'll do a pay-per-view review. That might just be me. I'm not sure if Nate will be able to join me for those. But I'll go over the pay-per-views with y'all whenever there's a pay-per-view on a Sunday. And we'll go over those and I'll review that with y'all. So tune in, guys. If you enjoy the world of wrestling, this is a new show. This is episode 1 right here. So if you believe in the potential this show has, subscribe. Stay tuned. Put that bell on so you know when we're going to go live. So that's Monday Night Raw today, guys. I don't think I missed anything. I messed up my notes. So, I had some notes on my phone, but I messed it up. I think I deleted it, actually. I don't know where I put the recent notes I had just typed. But screw it, I kind of winged it tonight, and I hope you guys can actually hear me. I'm not sure how the live stream's going right now. I haven't even, I can't really check. It's hard to multitask. That's one thing about live streaming. I'm not used to live streaming. 10 years, probably 11 years on YouTube, guys, and I've just, I haven't came around too much to live streaming, so pretty new to it. But I think everything's going well. Hopefully, at least. This was Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. I don't think I missed anything. Maybe I missed something. I don't think I did. If I had my notes, I could double check. But I think that was everything. I think I covered everything, guys. Again, not the greatest Raw, but not the worst. It was pretty okay Raw. Come WrestleMania, guys, we'll see what happens. Again, join us this Saturday. and join me tomorrow for SmackDown, but join us this Saturday for when we talk about what our predictions are for Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about news, rumors, and things that are going around in the WWE. Stay tuned, guys, for more content. And that's basically it coming from me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. That's Monday Night Raw. And this is the World of Wrestling show, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned for more content on this channel. Thank you guys for tuning into the live stream. That's it for me. Good night. See you guys later. The World of Wrestling show. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later.